One of my favorite musicians, a man named John Hartford, passed away too young. He was also a riverboat pilot. He wrote a song called In Plain View of the Town. It was kind of a comical story about a barge that crashes on a sandbar right in front of a town, and the pilot has to try to free it while the people are on the levee watching and laughing. Unfortunately, I always think of that song when I think of this date in history, January 27th, 1855, when the steamboat Pearl, racing the steamboat Enterprise, coming down from Marysville on the Sacramento River to Sacramento, exploded. The boiler broke. That was a common malady of these steamboats, and of course arrogant captains who are trying to race each other. Of course, it wasn't comical because there were 101 passengers. 55 of them died, including the Captain E.G. Davis. Explosion happened at 1 p.m. on that day right near the mouth of the American River, which used to be right here flowing into the Sacramento River. The river is a working river. People who were working on the levee had to have seen this terrible accident. The dead were brought here when it was the City Hall and Waterworks to be identified and claimed. Few were, though, and their bodies were buried in a mass funeral at the Sacramento City Cemetery. That included a large contingent of the Chinese community here, because 18 of those victims were Chinese who were sitting in the forward portion of the steamboat where the explosion happened. The coroner placed the blame explosion on the engineer, a man named Andrew Wadley. He was an unlicensed engineer. A witness says Wadley jumped overboard shortly before the boiler burst. He was arrested 2 days later, but ultimately found not guilty in the charges for the explosion because no one could quite determine how it happened.